Hey guys. Um okay, so I was looking up one of those documents, B18, and I found this document. B18 was in the grants and said facility B18 or detention cell B18. I found this document. I guess all the way at the end it'll show when it was. I guess this was done in 2009. But usually it has a date right here. I'm not sure about this date. Okay, so this is a CIA person, United States of America versus Stephen Levon. And you know they use a bunch of different names to detain people, so I don't know who this is. They're claiming he's a CIA agent. All right, I don't know. Comes now the defendant, Stephen Levon, by his counsel, Michael Nachmanoff, and Jeremy Kamens. Now, I believe a lot of these documents, a lot of this is just kind of, I don't know, most of them I've seen are fabricated names, but if you start to look up the names of the people, you'll see what it means. You know, you have to look up all the different names. Judge Rawls, Jones. On January 13th, 2009, Mr. Levon also requests an expedited hearing of this matter. Mr. Levon is a United States citizen employed at the Central Intelligence Agency as a case agent who is charged in a criminal complaint with access device fraud in violation of this. So I don't know really what this is, but a CIA agent is usually not detained. It's usually someone else that's, a United States. I believe they're detaining people brought here for the worth of their natural resources, or they're brought here to strip them of rights so they would be stateless, having no rights to fight back a military machine or, figure out where they came from, figure out their nationality. And our government is also, they're doing treatments to those people that will actually erase their real genetic heritage from the earth. Meaning, cutting off their cheekbones. I mean, an archaeologist is not going to be able to figure out, for example, what my skeleton, what my facial skeleton even looked like, because they cut off a giant portion of my cheekbones. So in Basque Country, it says that the DNA of the people, of the skeletons, is very different, and that they provided one of these people for dissection. Didn't say the person was dead. Just says they provided this person to a man who wrote a book. Okay, now who provided it? It doesn't say who provided it. Okay, pursuant to this, the court has the authority to review a release order. So what they're doing is they're releasing the people into the community without ever telling them of their charge, right? In pretrial detainment. So why would this come up? Because of the nonviolent nature of the charge, and because access device fraud is not otherwise listed as an offense for which presumption exists and no reasonable release conditions are available, the statutory presumption in the Bail Reform Act weighs in favor of release. Subject to rebuttal by the person, it shall be presumed that no condition or combination of conditions will reasonably assure appearance or community safety. So they do a lot of things to the people and then claim that they don't have the right to even know what the charges are, and that to release them into the community would pose a risk to the community. I think the people should be allowed to go home, know what their national heritage is, know where they came from, not be sold into slavery as a child and taken in by customs, and then just detained permanently. I mean, that's what happened to me. But the apparatus involved that creates the fake birth certificates, the fake passports, the fake names, I mean, it's huge apparatus. It's called the military industrial machine. All right. And they're doing this where certain people have so much worth to their DNA, they're sharing it with the world. So basically the person can't, even if they go somewhere, they've already, like, they would have to be in witness protection because the people know why they were detained isn't exactly what the government was saying. So I find this weird that a CIA agent named Stephen Levant, I don't even know, I don't even think he was probably detained. And then it says he pled guilty, and this is 2009, right around the time that this is really weird, that they were, making these crimes against me. Okay, I was deported in 2008 without ever being told of a crime, without ever knowing that there was a crime. So that's called shadow deportation. And again, I learned this from the agents themselves bragging about working in the shadows, all in the media, working in the shadows. I was like, what is shadows? What does that mean? Well, shadow deportation. Once somebody is shadow deported, this one didn't come up. This one's gone. I find it really weird when they start to take things down too. Inside Man. He was a case agent. Okay, so people are framed for crimes they didn't commit. Stephen and CIA. Now, why is this going through Brazil? You know what I mean? You just have to keep kind of looking. Stephen and CIA Ltd. Brazil. Support activities for road transportation. Stephen, I sometimes just think even the name isn't the name. Right? I think the name is sometimes the name of a company. See, I was not informed about the selection of Leon Panetta, so this was coming up under Stephen Levant. Again, there's all this. Okay, so they do videotape the torture, you guys. I'm sure there's videotapes. And then they always say they lost them. They lost them magically. So CIA is a case, this guy was a case agent, but wait a minute, let me go down here and see. So I wanted to take a bath when I heard it, said Boren, now president of the University of Oklahoma, adding that fear was used to justify the use of techniques that violate our values and weaken our intelligence. You know, they started this when I was a kid, faking deaths. Okay, waterboarding, I believe, is something different than what they show you. Waterboarding is when they take a person and they bully them or beat them and they go seek plastic surgery to fix their face, and then they use water to take out the bones, like it's a water torture technique. Also, water is in our bodies. We're created with water. We have water. And then boarding is, the wards and boards that these people talked about earlier. I don't want to say their names. Okay. So they have kidnapping charges against them. So I really believe that this isn't exactly what it's saying it is, but that it's kind of explaining how they're injuring people. I also think Khashoggi is something else entirely. So let me go back. This is the one I think that wouldn't load. Maybe you guys can get it. Okay. So this one was filed in 2009. Highest offense, felony, complaints, access device fraud. Sealed, it's sealed. So we can't even see what it is. This is what, when I started going to that regional center in San Diego, everything they gave me that I requested had a sealed file that they took out before giving it to me, which I believe is attached to a regular citizen or somebody that was brought here that doesn't even know they were an immigrant. How could I know? I had what looked like a legitimate birth record. If it wasn't for that state official that told me those birth records were false and where to get my real birth record, I would have never known I was deported. I would never know why I didn't have rights in America. How many other people are being brought here as babies, as children, due to the worth of their bloodline or, due to the worth of their genetics, brought here as children and then shared with the world, where unless they put you in witness protection, you're probably on a list everywhere you go. And every time I traveled, somebody came with me. Every time I traveled, somebody met me there, came with me, and those people turned out to be either working for Washington, D.C. or working for ICE or the CIA. Right. So they sealed the complaint. I wonder if any of these... Order of temporary detention. Okay, here we go. Order of temporary detention. So, I don't believe this is the person that was being detained. I just don't. I believe they're just not telling people. They're doing it under military, let me see, that's criminal information. Okay, again, it goes to very, very close to the day, the date that 7397 might be a code. And when I typed it in, we get national heritage areas, monuments, ruins, sites. And then you get this address. I don't know, but her passenger cars, which we learned from Iggy Pop.